Today we get back into soft plastics with my take on a classic pattern using the triple. That's right, we are diving back into the soft plastic world today. I've got my N2 Triple Injector, super psyched to break it out. The pattern is one that you all know, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. You will find out eventually, especially when we get that third color. I don't want to wait any longer. It's cold out. This guy needs to get warmed up. So I've got my heat plate over there. We'll crack that thing on, put this on there to start warming it up, and we will look at our first color. 1 cup BaitPlastics 242 as usual for this channel. To start off, we need a belly color. Perhaps that is your first clue. I'm going to MF White Pearl in a pigment. I don't want to use powders today because nothing that we're using today is a powder, and sometimes when you use liquid pigments and powder pigments together, it can get a little funky. With a triple, we really need to try to level things out and keep it consistent. So, White Pearl in MF, let's go with 20 drops and see what that gets us. Actually, I had changed my mind. I only went with 15. I think we actually got 16 in there because I seem to remember that this was maybe a little bit more opaque than some of the other MF stuff. No, maybe not. Let's go with a full 20. Actually, let's go 25. Yeah, I like that. It's still just a little bit translucent, but I can see the knife down through there just a hair, but I think that's going to work well. No flake on the belly. This guy is ready to go. Now it's just a challenge of keeping it warm while we work on the other two. Second color, we are ready to roll. I need a green, but not a green pumpkin because I don't want any brown. And I need something deeper and more opaque than watermelon. I need kind of a green's green. I got out a new color. I think I've only used it maybe once or twice, and if I'm right, I used it to green up something that I was working on. It's called Kudzu. It's by Lureworks. It is a very green. Apparently a Kudzu plant is a viney leafy thing, and yeah, it's kind of green. So we're going to use this guy. I'm going to say 15 drops. We'll see what that gets us. There we go. Kind of like an army green almost. Still has just a hint of brown. I don't know, maybe there's a better option once you guys get the full picture of what we're building today. If you have a better suggestion for a top green, then by all means share it in the comments. I like the opacity of it. I think that's going to work. We now need to add in our flake, and it's going to be all black flake today. 3 different sizes because we need spots of different sizes. Are you getting any closer to your guess? I bet you somebody has already figured it out. 1/8 of a teaspoon of large black, 0.62. I usually do 1/4 of a teaspoon of this stuff per cup, but I want all 3 and I don't want to overdo it. To the 0.35, likewise 1/8 of a teaspoon, and then all the way down to the itty bitty stuff, and we're going to drop down to a 1/16 of a teaspoon. Let's see what that looks like. Having not made this pattern yet, I don't know what that's going to look like, and we'll adjust if need be. Looking for black throughout, larger spots kind of random. We need to warm this guy back up and get it kind of leveled out with our White Pearl, and then talk about our third color. For those that have been around the channel for a while, you all know that I like to do some element in my baits where it's flake only, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a third layer here that is flake only going right through the middle. If you've been paying attention thus far, we have a pearl belly. We have a nice green with variegated black spot top. What middle layer could I possibly do that would afford us a classic pattern SDG style? That's right, pink, baby. We are going rainbow trout, and I'm going to have a pink flake only core. I'm quite sure that many of you had figured that out as we went. So I've got a full teaspoon because we have a full cup's worth of Plastisol here, and it's going to take every bit of a teaspoon to get us where we want to be. So that is 0.015 pink flake. Let's see if 1 teaspoon is going to be enough. It's setting up on me a bit, so it's kind of hard to tell. We're going to roll with it, cross our fingers, and hope that it works out. Mold-wise, we haven't even talked about yet. We are going to shoot the whip wad today. And if you don't know the whip wad, that's what she looks, there we go. That's what she looks like. 5.4 inch Epic Baits whip wad collaboration with Marling. It comes with hook slots, and we're going to be running this one without hook slots. So you actually pop that out. If you want to run it with hook slots, then you just reverse it. If I can do it quickly, there we go. You just reverse it, and now you've got a bait with a hook slot. But especially with a triple or even a dual, that extra metal right in between can cause some wonky problems. And personally, I actually like fishing this as a solid body without a hook slot anyway. We're going to be shooting this. I've got 2 of them, as is the case with all Epic Bait molds. It's got back and belly, so we can make sure that our green is on the right side and our pearl is on the right side. So let me get those clamped up, continue to dance with this Plastisol. My goal is right around 330. It's a little bit hotter than I usually shoot, but I think we're going to need it because there's a lot of ground to cover in the triple block, which is also why all that stuff has been heating up. I need it as hot as possible so that it keeps everything flowing. These are top injection ports. Need to be able to move to 6 of them without stuff freezing up. So a little bit warmer, warm up the equipment, and fingers crossed, we'll have some pretty sweet baits. All right, they're as close as I'm gonna get them. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna work these out, top them off, but at this point, it's in the Lord's hands. Holy cow. Oh, look at this. Can you tell I was in a little bit of a hurry? Stuff thrown everywhere. Crazy. But hey, look, we've got extra, and even more so once we get the pucks out of that. So I'm thinking we've got enough for a bonus mold. So stick around for that after we see how our whip wads turn out. All right, I have cleaned up around here. What a disaster that was. And before we jump into the baits, see if this worked out, I figured you guys might like to see the inside of the block. You can see how wide this thing is. There it is compared to the dual, just kind of give you an idea how much bigger it is. See how much how far the Plastisol has to travel before it ends up in the sprue. So that's why you got to have it a little bit warmer, and if you can warm this bad boy up, all the better. The time has come. Let's see if this worked. Oh yes. All right, we got a little bit of the flake up in the green. But man, this one came out really nice. Look at that. There's a nice pink stripe. Those bellies turned out real nice. And look at the tail. Kind of a mixture. Oh, that's nice with the difference there. This one stuck in the other. Didn't turn out as well. A little bit more blending. Definitely had the flake all over on that one. Interesting. That flake, because there was no colorant in it, did tend to get hotter than the others, and I was really trying to cool it down more so. So maybe I didn't quite get it to where it needed to be, or because it doesn't have that colorant in it, it was flowing a little faster. I don't know. We'll see. Usually when you get blending like that, it's a temperature issue more than anything else. Oh, now these. Oh, I had one fail. I had one that sucked up on me. I didn't have enough there, so that one didn't work out. But those two are spot on. Look at that. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Tails look good. Definitely got more blending in the tail. The outside edge you can see nice and green. But man, I'll take that any day. So we had two that didn't make the cut. That's on me, not the mold. But boy, we have four here that I think I would consider a major success. That is a pretty thing. Until you own a triple injector and try to make baits with this thing, you'll just never know how, one, difficult it is, and how, two, satisfying it is when they turn out as good as these four did. So, as I mentioned, we have lots left over, right? I got at least half, 3/4 of a cup of all three of those. So let's shoot another. The first thing we're going to do, though, is warm up our flake, because we're going to use the Epic Baits Tapworm. I've got two of those molds, and as you can see, we shoot the tails first. There's two sprues in this guy, so you shoot the tails first, pull those out, put those in the body, and then shoot your body color. So maybe it's not a swim bait, but we can do a rainbow trout inspired tapworm with some pink tails, and then dual this body and see what it looks like. All right, I have shot the tails. Let's check them out in case you've never seen this mold. Of course, if you've seen Nate's channel over at Marling Baits, you've seen this mold. But here she is. Pretty sweet. It's like a hybrid between a ribbon tail and a curly tail. That's kind of what he was going for. This is another one of the collaboration molds between Nate and Epic Baits. So Nate is the one that designed this. It's got that slit in the tail, which promotes action, and then it's kind of like a little short ribbon tail, but also functions, like I said, as a curly tail. You could actually cut this guy down and put it on a jig head and have a pretty unique looking little 2-3 inch grub. I'm going to pull these off and get them loaded in the tail slots. Always a good idea to put just a little bit of worm oil on each one of those so they slide right in. And there you can see we've got them all loaded up, both molds. That slit, like I mentioned before, makes it super easy to put these tails in, because it just forms right around it and the rest of it falls into place. And here we go. Let's see how these guys turned out. Oh, they're all sticking. Check those out. Now let's check out the back. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Nice clean laminate. And that pink tail. That is beautiful. Let's open up the other one, see if it turned out just as good. There we go. Now you can get the full effect. Woo. Well guys, it's been quite the ride. I had a ton of fun giving you my take on rainbow trout. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, I'll see you guys in the shop.